this podcast will fail. Mostly because nobody's going to listen to it. But you might prove me wrong. Who knows? Episode 41, and this podcast probably will still fail, but I'm hopeful. I'm curious to see, as we say hello to the beginning of season 3. Should point out that I'm just some guy. Who I am and where I am is completely irrelevant to the conversations that I come here to have with you and with myself. But my hope with season 3 is that more of those conversations will happen with you. Right out of the gate, right off the bat, I'm going to ask you if you are one of those few souls that are listening to this right now. If you've decided to give this podcast a shot, I want to hear from you. Bottom line, I've got a question for you today, and I would love to hear your voice and get your answer. In the very first line of the description of this podcast is a link. If you click that link, you will be able to record a message and send it to me. And I hope that you will do that. I want to talk to people. That's been one of the things in my life that I've always enjoyed is hearing from other people, their perspectives, their experiences, and trying to see if I can relate or understand to someone else's life outside of my own. So the premise of this season, every week, I'm going to have a question for the week. That's the entire week. And I hope that you'll click the link in this description and send me an answer to my question. I want to incorporate your answers into the podcast and be able to kind of start this remote dialogue, so to speak, right? We're living in a remote world because of the pandemic. And I think it could be an interesting little social experiment. It might fail. I might not get anybody to reply. I might not get a lot of people. It might be a person here or there that happens to hear it and see it and decide, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll throw something in there. But I think it would be a cool problem to have if I have too many people replying, and now I got to figure out what to do with all of these responses. Well, let's get it started. We're almost 3 minutes into this thing. So my question for the week, the first week of season 3 here, is very simple, although maybe not. I want to know what is important to you. That's my question. What's important to you? It's a broad question on purpose. That's intentional, because I don't want you to feel limited in your answer by when I say what's important, I mean anything, right? Are possessions important? Is there a specific item that you own that was given to you by someone? Is there someone? Is there a person? Is that person the most important to you? Is it an event every year that's so important to you? I want to be able to kind of dig into people's perspective on what they value and what they cherish and what they treasure. So I'll try to kind of round out that list myself throughout the course of the week, and try to gather some answers from other folks if at all possible. I'm going to attempt to speak to the people that already know about this podcast without really going, I don't know. I've had this whole anonymity thing with this podcast so far, so I don't know that I necessarily want to all of a sudden tell a whole bunch of people about it and say, hey, can I interview you for my podcast? But I think that there's going to be some opportunity for me to simply turn on the recording app on the phone and stick it in their face like a microphone and go, tell me your hopes and dreams, tell me your story, and see what kind of responses I get. And hopefully that will also give me more content to work with. But if you're still with me here at 5 minutes in, I hope that, either now go ahead and hit pause on this thing and open up that link and go and tell me what you value. Tell me what you treasure. Tell me what's important to you. Person, place, thing, item, event, memory. It doesn't matter. And tell me about it. Tell me about that person who's so valuable to you. Tell me about that thing. Why do you treasure this item so much? What is the story behind it? I want to hear you tell me why you care so much about this thing, this person, this place, this event, this day, this memory, right? So for me, and I'll kind of round out by approaching it myself and to give you something to consider. If you're not sure where to start and you want some concept of what I'm trying to get at here, because I know it can be difficult on the spot to come up with an answer. For me, I'm going to say I value my family, right? That's the number one thing to me. I have a large family. I've said this a few times in the course of this podcast. I'm a father of 6. My wife and I have now been married for 27 years. And this family is literally everything to me. Okay. And it's everything to me because I came from a broken family. You know, I came from a place, youngest of 3 sons, parents divorced when I was 3 years old. A lot of difficulty, a lot of struggle, a lot of, unfortunately, negative memories and emotions, substance abuse, domestic abuse, just a lot of turmoil. So I never really felt part of a family in the sense that word is supposed to feel. You know, I have my older brothers, but they're kind of there and gone, and I tried to have relationships and hang out with them from time to time growing up, but especially as we moved into adulthood, there really wasn't anything there other than a couple times a year. Extended family was there. There was a matriarch in our family, a great aunt that would be the one that would bring everybody together for Christmas, everybody together for Thanksgiving. It's something that was there, but it never really felt like a huge connection, right? And again, as the generations moved, as the older folks unfortunately moved on beyond this world, my generation, my brothers and myself and cousins, we all just sort of disconnected. There's nothing there, you know. I don't know my nephews very well. I don't know my niece very well. I love them. Don't get me wrong. They're, but I don't see them. I don't have regular contact with them. And that's a little sad. We tried when my kids were little to try and make sure everybody was still getting together, but it just kind of drifted the way life does. And so for me, first of all, getting lucky enough to find my soulmate. I know that sounds cliche and that may sound a little silly and ridiculous, but finding the connection with my wife at such a young age, and when we started building our family, and then we kept building our family, and we persevered through so many different trials and challenges over the course of these 27 years. Now I can stand back and look and see this amazing group of kids, and half of them are adults now, but see them as a group, as a unit, right? I like to hope and think that they will remain together more so than me and my previous, family relations ever did. My hope is that they will treasure and cherish family more so than anybody in my family ever did. I look at my wife's family, and they were a fairly tight group, right? But much better off in terms of that family unit than I ever was. And my wife is one of 4, and her parents, my in-laws, are still together, and that's 50-something years, I think, unless I'm mistaken, and I don't know the math too well, but that was a family that certainly, every family has its moments of turmoil and its moments of challenge, but they stayed together, right? I was able to slip into their family more easily because I didn't have what they have, right? And again, the same kind of thing can happen. People drift, become adults. But I know more about my wife's nieces and nephews than I ever did about my own. And that's sad. And, I hope that my kids are able to stay connected and even connected to those kids. Family is important to me, and it always has been. I've tried to teach my kids that there is nothing more important than family, because that's what I've wanted to believe my whole life, and it's never been demonstrated to me by much of anybody else. So it's an ideal that I've tried to push forward with my kids, and I don't know. I'm just hopeful that they will carry on and recognize. Look, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I got these two brothers. One of them had a birthday yesterday, and honestly, I forgot. I just straight up forgot. I'm a middle-aged person who uses Facebook like a middle-aged person. So generally speaking, I rely on Facebook's pop-up notification to tell me that this is such and such's birthday, and please go wish them a happy birthday. Well, I guess he had that function turned off and didn't realize it. And he posted this morning and said, well, not a single birthday wish from anyone. I guess that tells me where I stand in the grand scheme of things. I'm like, dude, you don't have the notification on. I'm sorry. Happy belated. You're 50. How old am I? I'm 45. So you're 54 years old. Crave attention a little, I guess. So, I haven't seen the guy in more than a decade. They moved out west, he and his wife. And I don't know. I've always said that if you needed something, I'll help you. I helped him move. The last time I saw the guy is when I brought my kids and we helped load their moving truck to get the hell out of Dodge. And on the other side, my other brother, politics is rough, man. My other brother is a hardcore believer in his politics. A combative, in-your-face, unapologetic partisan for the sake of his political beliefs. Now, I am too, kind of, but I'm nowhere near as driven as he is. We literally have nothing to talk about. We have nothing in common. Now, I was always a nerd growing up, and I guess I still am. But he was a jock, and he was into, sports and military, and his time in the Marines shaped a lot of how he views things. But he was never a nerd. Well, as my kids started getting older, he got into comic books all of a sudden, so he was trying to kind of connect with some of my kids around comic books. But it just never really it never really felt like a legitimate connection, because within 10 minutes, all of a sudden, you're asking questions about this kid's politics and questioning my politics in front of my kids, and none of that makes any sense. That's not useful. And again, if I'm telling you that I value and what's important to me is family, that's the wrong side of family to me. That's the part of quote unquote family that makes you want to walk away, makes you not want to connect. But in the midst of this, right, if either one of these idiots, if either one of these idiots were to ever step up and go, we got a problem, can you help me? Yeah, I will come help. That's what we do. That's what I do. I will come help. If you are in crisis, you are in danger, you are in a situation that allows me to help, right? I can't, I ain't rich. I can't pay your medical bills for you. I'm sorry. I can't pay your electric bill. I can barely pay my own. But if you are in a pinch and you need somebody to come help you with something, yeah, I'm going to rustle up my six and we're going to come and we're going to help. That's what we do, because family matters. I don't have to like you in order to love you. And you know, for better or worse, for everything that's ever happened to any of us, I can say there's a certain love there for these morons, you know. And I just worry. I worry whether or not my kids will turn out like the three of us did. Will they fracture? Will they drift apart? Will they remain the family unit that they are now? I don't know. We had my two college boys home over the weekend for the big birthday parties, and it felt right. It felt like that family unit that I desire so much to preserve and to have going forward. It felt good. It gave me hope that, yes, that they will hold together and they will hold true to each other and to us. So, but I want to know your story. Tell me your story as we move into season 3 here. Click the link if you are still listening here at just about 17 minutes in. If you're still with me, I want to hear your story. Tell me what's important to you. It's pretty quick. Click the link, open up a browser, let it connect to your microphone. If it's on your phone, it's even easier. If you're on your desktop, I don't care about the audio quality. I don't care if it sounds like a tin can laptop microphone. I just want to hear your voice. Tell me. You don't have to tell me who you are. You don't have to tell me where you are. You don't even have to tell me your name. You can make up a name. I don't care. It can be completely anonymous. You can say you're Jimmy from Grand Rapids, Michigan. You can say you're Cecile from Austin, Texas. I don't care. You can tell me that you are Bert from Cheshire, England. I don't care. I want to know your story and what's important to you. So I'm going to publish this tonight, and I will come back tomorrow, and we'll see what happens during the course of the day tomorrow. We'll see if anybody listens to this, first of all. Maybe the same 2 or 3. Maybe you, 2 or 3 people out there, might take me up and talk to me. If I get any responses, I will cover them in tomorrow's episode. If I don't get any responses, I will pick up the thread again tomorrow, and I will ask again, because that's what we're going to do this week. This week, it's going to be about what's important to you. Tell me your story and what's important to you. And I'll share another story of what's important to me tomorrow. So we'll spend the week talking about that and anything else that happens to come up. Okay, I think that is good for today. We'll go ahead and stop there. If anybody took the time to listen to this, thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate your patronage. I hope that I will hear from you. I hope that you will click the link and send me a message and answer the question so that we can all share your story together. All right, that's it. I'm done. I will talk to you all again tomorrow, wherever you are, whenever you listen to this. Thanks so much and have a good one.